All right, y'all. Welcome back to Bloomers and Boomers. We are so excited because this is our first video.
The first video.
We put a lot of work into getting this together. So, y'all go ahead and put y'all little congratulations in the comments. But no, seriously, we're very excited to be able to bring the video component to Bloomers and Boomers. We're just excited to honestly be doing this, period.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. We've been, chatting around it, but it feels good to do it.
Yes, yes. So, if you're new to the show, this is Bloomers and Boomers. It's a play on In Bloom, which is the name of my coaching practice, In Bloom with Jasmine. And then Boomers speaks to my mom's generation. She's a baby boomer.
Mm.
I'm a millennial. She's a baby boomer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we just want to come and talk to y'all about mother daughter stuff, multi generational stuff,
Mm-hmm.
growth, and yeah.
Yeah, and still growth.
And still growth.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Because it's a constant thing. It's not a one and done.
It's sure
Not
is.
a one and done.
Also, your whole life you'll be learning.
Yes. So far we've covered a few different topics on the podcast. Eldership, mentorship, what else? 300,000 Black women being out of work. We felt like we could not talk about that. So we just have been having a lot of fun with it. I mean, have you been having fun with it?
I have. It's a little for my generation, right? And I'm not so old, and there are people my age who are into this. I'm seasoned, right. And there are people who in my generation who are boomers who are actually doing this.
Yeah.
But it's new technology to me because I've been retired for a minute and haven't been wanting to do
right,
much.
So, I love the idea of wedding the baby boomer work ethic with the new digital tools, because I think that's a nice little blend. That blend is good.
I haven't thought about that.
Yes,
I have to think about that. The work ethic.
So yeah, that's a little bit about the podcast, a little bit about us. We should do a little bit of introductions.
Okay.
I'm Jasmine Evadney. This is my mom. I've already said that, but I have a coaching practice. I recently graduated with my coaching certification from George Washington University, Center for Excellence in Public Leadership. And I'm using it as a tool for good, not just in the workplace, but also for personal development for women of color. So I'm in the process of designing tools and programs to support women who are doing that inner work. Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, okay. So I am Eldris Jackie Campbell, also known as Mama Jackie, and to some of my lifelong friends, just plain Jackie. But I am an elder, and I am retired. I've already mentioned that. And I am in this space of learning new, right, and digging deep. So I'm glad to be here. And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, mommy.
Yeah, girl. You're doing this. So it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you do this.
So what I'll say is she's being humble. I have to brag on my mom because in our hometown she has a day named after her. And this is what I tell people because she's very humble. She's to do the work, but I always call her a big stepper when I'm talking to people because she's really like made a lot of strides in our community, made a lot of changes in our community in my hometown. So yeah, that's who's here today.
Well, and thank you for that. And I would also say I'd be remiss if I didn't say that all the work that I did was done with other people.
Of course.
Right? Done in community and based on those relationships. So
of course.
I take that and I take that for them too.
Yes, that's why we love you. That's why we love you. So today we are talking about something very timely. It's the holidays. And contrary to popular belief, the holidays can be rough. They can be rough and they can feel lonely to folks. So similar to other topics you'll hear on the show, we're going to be talking about the mindset of loneliness, what's happening in our brain when that happens, and in our minds and in our feelings and stuff like that, and then how we can kind of better navigate that and do some like mind hacking, some life hacking to overcome these feelings of loneliness that we feel, whether it's the holidays or whether it's romantically, So we're going to be talking about that. So first things first, let's acknowledge the myth of holiday perfection.
Okay.
Let's acknowledge the myth of holiday perfection. I'm pretty clear on what this means to me because I'm a millennial. I'm online a lot, and I see on social media, you got the matching pajamas, you got the holiday spreads on the table. Everything looks very magical, and it kind of creates this pressure to have like this very perfect like holiday experience year after year, which we know is not true for some people, and it's not true all the time. So, and we can delve a little bit more into that. What are your observations?
Yeah, I think that the holidays, which really begin like right before Halloween, right? The marketing of it begins. That cycle begins, and I think it's overplayed. But if you are a person that pays attention to it a lot, it can weigh on you, right? Because you even when I think about like the perfect meal or the perfect spread, right? Like I'm not um, I'm not a great. I mean, I don't want to say I'm not a great cook. I don't like cooking, right?
Okay, okay.
And I've said that I don't like cooking. But I do it, and I can, I can put my foot in something when around the holidays, right? But it's a lot of work, and so trying to reach that. I want the turkey to look nice, and by the way, we don't eat turkey no more. But I want all of this stuff to look really, really nice. I remember back in the day, we used to take pictures of the table.
Oh yeah,
right. Like
I still do. I'm not even gonna hold you. I do take pictures of the spread, not my spread, your spread.
Well, it's striving to be perfect. Can be a little nerve wracking.
Yeah, for
and we don't need to be.
For sure. I mean, I think when you speak of like the food, right, and cooking the different dishes, it reminds me of this kind of pressure that is unique to women and the big mamas of the family. And some people go into big mama territory unwittingly, and they don't volunteer. It's like you're the oldest girl, and your house is where the magic happens.
Right. And I like that.
Yes.
I want, this is what I want. I want people to bring the food, right? Because I can do the house, and the house could be, set up all nice and make sure everybody's needs are met. But if the folks come and bring food, I love that. I love that. And some people do go into, like I have a friend of mine who loves cooking. Right, and I remember her. I was like, "What? What? She do that all the time?" Because she cooked. You having a meeting, she's cooking. Right? And her daughter said it does. She said, "I don't know, but it does something for her." Right?
Yes.
And I can appreciate that. It don't do nothing for me.
Right.
But I can appreciate that it does something for her, and that's the gift that she brings.
Yeah. It's funny. We had our holiday, what we called our holiday Thanksgiving party, and it was organized by a group of us. And I was recapping it yesterday with one of my coworkers, and he called her Big Mama. She cooked all the food. Everybody sent her $25, and she cooked all of the food, a full spread,
and it was good too.
It was good, and afterwards we played Taboo, and she was falling asleep during
Taboo. See,
but
she had put her work in.
She put her work in, but he said she probably loves doing that, and I didn't think of it from that perspective. Yeah. So
it's a thing.
Yeah,
and you can tell when it's not a thing because people complain about it, like me.
Yeah. I know you'd be rounding us up like, okay, what are you making?
Right.
Because I'm not doing all this.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, have you ever experienced holiday loneliness? I mean, it's
I have, and I would say, and I don't know if I would call it loneliness, but there's definitely a different feeling when you become the house, right? So, and you become the house because your parents are no longer in this realm, right? They've transitioned, so they're ancestors, but you are now whose house does everybody go to? And there's an element of being taken care of that you miss
once they're
gone, right? Like you don't have to figure out everything. You don't have to do everything. And so I think that's hard. And especially hard when it's your first Thanksgiving without one or both of your parents. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I have not felt loneliness around the holidays because I have family, right?
Yeah.
So I know at the very least, you, your sister, son-in-law, folks is coming, right? And occasionally it's good to say, okay, I think I want to go somewhere. But I think the point is really making sure that being around family, whatever that is, right? It might be friends, but being around other people, sort of does not has been the way that I have gotten past that.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotten through that. Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely. Well, I've always had a family unit, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have nowhere to go. I always, had family, or like a friendsgiving to attend or something like that. So, but I think the holiday loneliness kicks in for me, and I've related to how I experienced the holidays as a kid. So I don't know, everything in childhood, for one, there were a lot more relatives that were living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me not say a lot more. There were some key players that were alive. You know what I'm saying? And they brought their nuclears to the scene. So it was just like the gathering seemed to have more people, more festive. And then as you look at the holidays, once those folks have transitioned, it's just kind of, I guess, you feel a little bit of a void. Not that you're necessarily, well, I do. Not that I'm necessarily saying, oh, like I'm walking around the house saying I miss my Auntie Carol, but that is something that's in my subconscious, like, I'm thinking of that. I'm remembering that. So, and those times when the holidays really, really lived up to the hype, which for me, we talk about this all the time, like that game night that we used to do.
Oh yes,
the day after Thanksgiving.
Right.
When we were in Rochester.
Right. So game night is when it's the day after Thanksgiving, so everybody has eaten, and they probably have leftovers, so we don't have to worry about cooking dinner, right? And it's also dessert night. So what we ask is that if you're coming, bring a dessert. Now sometimes that's homemade, sometimes it's store bought. Doesn't matter, but we have a spread of desserts, and then we play games, and we play spades. Those of us who know how to play play spades. Yeah, shade, and we also play taboo. A new game that we've been trying to play is Mexican train dominoes. Love that game. But everybody comes over, and this is like, it's like the party, right? So if you have Thanksgiving and you have a lot of family, you have that. But then the next night is where it's sort of boisterous, and we would have upwards of, like, we would have 15 to 20 people that would be there. That would be our family and other families coming, but probably something like maybe 30 to 40 that would roll through. So some people would come, stay for hours, then leave, then another group would come, but we would be pretty much at it for the evening.
For the evening. I just remember Earth, Wind, and Fire playing. I just remember joy, like incredible joy. And I mean, from every age, you got the elders there, you got down to the babies running around free.
Yeah.
Nobody's inhibited. The baby climbing the steps.
Right. Get the baby.
Right. The elders in the kitchen telling stories, somebody's washing dishes, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and just attending to the house, checking in with the hostess, making sure,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that she's got backup for
Right.
keeping the house together.
Right. Yes, I like that. The extra hands
Yes.
help to clean,
The
right?
extra hands.
Somebody was coming through. Oh, let me get all of these paper plates. They all over the place. Somebody's coming, picking them up, put them in the trash, and making sure that the spread still looks like a good spread.
Yes.
Yeah. That was good. That was nice times. And
It was.
so we've recently transitioned to Maryland. We don't have that as a practice yet, but we are going to start doing that because we started to build community. So we have folks. We're in Southern Maryland, and we have some folks in Baltimore and some in this particular area. So we'll see what we can do.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yes.
Let us see.
I would definitely,
Mhm.
definitely love that. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and I want to talk a little bit about the social media pressure just a little bit more. I think it's a comparison trap when we get online, and we all are susceptible to it. So this is not a judgment statement, but it's more so like an acknowledgement of what happens to me when I go online, especially during the holidays. And it's almost like it doesn't hit like as closely as being single on Valentine's Day. It's social media. Now that's an experience. We're not gonna talk about that today. But you know, the holidays, if you don't have somewhere to go, I kind of liken it to compare it to that feeling. Like if you don't have folks that, you know, that you be a group that you belong to, that you feel like you belong to. So you can get on socials and you're seeing the PJs, the TikTok videos, you know, the some BTS, the behind the scenes, you know, different gifts and stuff like that. So and not just that, you got different movies that you reference, Home Alone, This Christmas, you know, holiday stuff. But those can also be filled with holiday drama, and I'm thinking soul food, you know? So there is definitely like an expectation and reality gap. I think that social media kind of creates for us in this modern time.
Yes.
And not that not that that loneliness didn't exist before, but it's just a little bit pronounced when you're scrolling and like it's just a reminder. Or you know, I think you know I've got some good girlfriends whose parents have transitioned recently, and that can be a source of just like pain because they're you know your mothers are the ones that bring it all together. So
yeah, especially in Black families, but not just Black families. I think mothers do it, and you know, mothers who are mothering do it, and it doesn't matter what their culture is.
Yeah.
But I can also recognize that how technology sort of plays with your brain. Like when I'm scrolling and I'm trying to remove myself from that, but when I'm scrolling, I see so many things, and like almost every other scroll up is an ad.
Oh yeah.
Right? So not only are they trying to make me feel a certain way about what I'm seeing, they're inserting things like you can have this too, right? You can have this too, and it'll be the same ad coming up sometimes, right? And it's really it's marketing, and all it is really marketing. And the the real the real value well, I don't see any redeeming value in it. Let me say that. But the value of the holidays, because a lot of people say, well, I don't do holidays, right? And it's really not about holidays. It's doing family. And so, and whatever, however you define that, whether that's friends, whether that's sort of blood relatives, right? And some people even have like work family, but it's about togetherness and connecting in person, right? And not necessarily virtually. And it's a trap. That's what I say. Yeah. It's a trap.
Yeah. It's a trap. Well, I think the hook, that's like a funnel. It's a marketing funnel whereby they prime you with, and I don't know if this is like the terminology. I'm not a marketer, but they prime you with these images of, oh, look at this such great holiday time, da 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 da, and it's in the environment already. Then it's in the ads, and then there's the link right beneath the ads to say basically, do you want this experience? You're gonna need these pajamas.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Do you want this experience? You're gonna need to order these groceries.
Right.
Have these groceries delivered.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's like, do you need a turkey?
Right.
Did you
All
get your
this, the
stuff?
food is coming
Right,
up.
yeah.
Right. I just started experiencing it. I'm like, wait, Walmart is in here,
Yep.
trying to get me to buy a turkey.
Yes, yes. So it's
Ooh.
very pervasive. It's very pervasive when you're paying attention.
Yes. When you're paying attention.
Do you ever find yourself comparing your holiday to what you see online?
Oh, no,
Hmm.
no. And I don't know if the word compare is good,
Okay.
right? I don't think that's the appropriate term, because I'm not doing a comparison, but I will, if I see something, I can acknowledge that it's nice. Like, ooh, that's nice. But not necessarily comparing, right? So what I like in social media are the funny things.
Yeah.
Right? If it's funny and about an animal or it's funny and about babies, I like those things. Okay. So you might not, it won't, probably doesn't always come up in my feed.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because I'm very particular.
Your algorithm worked out.
Right. I think. I don't know nothing about no algorithm, right? I don't know how they even figure all of that out. But people send me things that they know that I will think is funny. Yes. Like we were doing. Yes. Wait. And then I can just have a laugh. I don't even have to pick my phone up again. I can just remember it and continue to laugh. And I like those, right? And then I try to stay away from it because it's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Yeah. So I'll be completely honest. I sometimes do compare. And I think it's during, it's not just the soul, because what I compare to is like when someone has like a full house of people, so we've relocated, um, and the family that we have in this area is, we can count on one hand. Right. So it's like, holidays are much smaller than what I'm used to, so in Rochester, when I came home, it would be, my siblings are coming by, my nieces and nephews are coming by on any given holiday, and, some family friends are even coming by. So I think when I see other people doing, like, having like the high volume family experiences, and I just kind of remember the times when we had that going on when I was, when we were still living in Rochester, and stuff like that.
I do think that I do miss that. I do miss that. Like the random stop bys, right? And we would be, in the kitchen handling business, and all of a sudden this relative stopped by. I didn't want none. I just came by to say Happy Thanksgiving. I was passing by.
Yep, Auntie Cheryl.
Right. Auntie Cheryl would make something and bring it.
Bring some dump cake.
Don't
even have to ask for it.
Right. Just bring some. Oh, I was cooking. Made y'all a dump cake. Right. Oh yeah. I remember that. I do miss that. I do miss that. That's that community connection. Yeah. And so now we're in a neighborhood that is, people are nice, but that connection is not there because we don't have that history. Yeah. And that's all right. It is. That's all right. It's something you got to build. So we're going to be talking about, that's a perfect segue. We're going to be talking about loneliness and how to combat loneliness. It's really something that you have to do intentionally. And if you're an introvert like me, you might have to step a little bit outside your comfort zone. You might have to initiate contact, but it's something that's overcomable. And overcomable. I went to see Wicked. And I'm making up words. Okay. Okay. Listen. Okay. But you understood what I was saying, right? I did. Okay. And I'm not entirely sure that it's not a word, but I know when I heard it, I was like, what? Or surmountable. We're gonna work it out. Okay. We're gonna work it out. There we go. So here's the important thing to know, and you might not have known this. So I'm very delighted to be the first one to tell you this, but loneliness activates the same parts of our brain that pain activates, physical pain. So it's literally distressing, and it's having a similar impact on our bodies.
It can cause hypervigilance. You can begin to anticipate rejection or see rejection even when it's not there. And it can lead to social withdrawal, right? Mm-hmm. So, and especially as we age, this is why there's so many social clubs for seniors. It's very important that we sow the seeds for strong relationships, strong, enduring relationships while we're younger, so that when we reach those season years, that when we're not as active, we're not hanging out as much, we're not working as much, that we still have a social family and social community that we belong to. Because loneliness be hurting our elders. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So, what's your thoughts as I'm saying that? As I'm saying these facts about loneliness and the brain science of it, what are your thoughts?
So I can, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It's I don't know if it's like heartbreak. Heartbreak is a real physical pain too, right? But I can see how loneliness can cause stress, right? Um, and that it can trigger those areas. And it's really important. It is important to make sure that you have those connections all the time. But as an African descended person, right? I know that relationships are that's our magic formula, right? It's making sure that you are connected. It's our highest value. It's when we are reaching for our highest self, we are doing it is as part of a relationship. I'm human to you, and you're human to me, right? And we are interacting. So Ubuntu, right? But as you age, I think that this is a society too that promotes mistrust. So we don't necessarily nurture the relationships that we should. I don't. This is not sort of passing judgment, but I know that I have friends who are single and older through choices that they've made, and the choices that were good for them. But they are still extremely busy and still very social, and so have full lives. And then I know others that are not, and I know that they're lonely, and so and I can, it's I think when I think about my own experience, that's tempered for me because I've been in a committed marriage for 43 years. So I have a partner. And so I don't know what that would be like to be lonely. I've always had a road dog, right? And so, and even that doesn't mean, you can be lonely and you can be be in a relationship. That don't mean that it's not, but that I work at having that um, with my partner, my husband.
Yeah. I think what you're speaking to is like loneliness begets more loneliness, and kind of like the aspect of working at it. It's something that needs to be maintained, right? You have to put not that loneliness, not but the connection has to be worked at and maintained.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, it's and it's not. I don't know if I see it as work more than I see it as the natural state of things. Like nobody comes into the world by themselves. There's a conduit. Typically, it's family. And so, and then we branch out from there to friends, and we branch out from there to work. And some of those folks that we've worked with become friends, and some don't. But we are always in relationship. And so the cultivation of that is what helps to sort of stem the flow of loneliness. But you can still be around a whole lot of people and still be lonely, right? And so that takes some work too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know now is like in modern times, and I don't really say modern. Your time was modern too.
Oh,
But
shade.
your time was modern too. But you know, we do the maybe we'll DM, maybe we'll text message, maybe we'll send a voice note, maybe we'll FaceTime. Um, I honestly do miss the days where it was appropriate to just go ring someone's doorbell.
Yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit about like how you maintain connection when, like back in your when you were coming up? Like, how did you do that?
How would you what? Just go ring on somebody's doorbell?
No, I'm just saying, like, what was your method? Like, would you just pop up, or would you do a phone call? Would you schedule? Because like we schedule, we have to put something on the books now. Oh, we need to schedule some girls' time. We need to go to brunch, and it's like 3-4 weeks out. You know what I'm saying? To get together with one of your girlfriends. You know, it's just like very.
I think too. I think that depends. You all are so busy, right?
Okay.
And you really do have full lives. Like I really, we talk a lot about the hustle mentality. So I don't know if I dislike the hustle mentality. I kind of like it.
We know you're
right?
a Capricorn.
Right. But I also think the hustling was with folks that are in your tribe, like in your group, right?
Okay,
So you got to see them anyway, right? So in terms of friends, well, I will say I had friends before I got married, and then after I got married, those things changed.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a whole different podcast. We'll talk about that. Yes. But in terms of my community, back home, if I would call someone, hey, what are you doing? Pop over. And it was a little bit more random before the proliferation of cell phones. Okay. Right? Because you all grew up cell phone.
Well, and by about 15.
Right.
That's where they came into play.
Right.
Thank goodness we had time without them. Goodness
yeah. But when I was younger, there was no such thing. Right? So everybody had the one phone in the house with the long cord, right? And you might call someone, but more of your friends and the people that you connected with were in your neighborhood. So you could walk to somebody's house, right? Or and in Rochester, like I associated with people who lived on my side of town, right? West side. So I could walk there, or I could drive there if I was driving. But and it was nothing to really stop by somebody's house. And most of the time, people were always home.
Yeah. Okay. That's different.
Yeah. So we were, it wasn't like now. Yeah. But and I think that we're getting back to that where people are staying home.
Yeah, we are. I
Or
think
maybe that's
COVID
an age
did that.
thing. Yeah, COVID did do that.
COVID did that. I mean, people are outside. People are outside. I love me. I mean, we like living in a major metropolitan area. Like, there's always stuff to do. So
yeah.
But I like the idea of because that's my favorite time. Like, I'm not a small talk kind of person. So, like, if we're getting together and there's not an opportunity to really have deep conversation, I'm happy, but I feel like there's something I didn't get to do that I wanted to do, in that getting together. So,
right. So you are very much your getting together is small group.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And my kind of getting together, I'm good with small group too, but like I like when there's a gang of us. Okay. Right. And we're just all like having fun and I think part of that is being married. So I have those close relationships too, but I like being in a lot of women, right? And just
having a good old time,
having a good old sister time.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I can appreciate both. I can definitely appreciate both. So with that discussion, we're gonna move into what it means when your body is signaling to you that you are lonely. And it really is a call for connection. It's your signal to go ahead and connect with someone. It's your sign to hey, pick up pick up where y'all left off, you know. So and I think it's important to know that loneliness is not necessarily a personal failure. I think we tend to think of it as something shameful. I mean, I think younger people tend to think of it as something shameful. And this also, you'll hear me bring up social media a lot because I think it plays a lot into how there's this term called FOMO, and it's fear of missing out. And the kids feel it. You can be online and, you know, you'll see your friends have gathered and maybe you'll be like, where was my invite? You know, and so you can tend to feel, or even if it's not that case, you can see other people doing stuff actively and you can tend to feel lonely. And it just creates a lot of pressure that we've kind of discussed earlier, but just a different lens of looking at it. So
yeah, I think that social media amplifies that, but you would have the same without social media. You would have the same thing. It's just that you don't know. It's not instantaneous. So let's say that there was an event that you weren't invited to. You might not find out that same day, or you know, in live time, but you would definitely find out a day or so later. You hear somebody talking about it, and you would be like, "Oh, why wasn't I invited?"
And it just means to me, I take that as a signal that you just got to find your tribe, right? Maybe that's not your tribe. So, so next we're going to talk about some personal hacks that have worked for me to combat loneliness and that might work for you, anybody watching. So one of the things that I've been doing recently, like I have admittedly, when I left Rochester, when I leave a city, right? Because I've lived in Rochester, I lived in New York City, I've lived in Baltimore. Normally, when I move around a lot, because I've moved around a lot, I um, I kind of immerse myself into my new community, and I've heard from friends that hey, you don't reach out, or like, you know, we just don't maintain the closeness, which is something that I I recognize as I got older as a pattern of when I'm moving around. I tend to do that, and it's like kind of like a out of sight,
out of mind.
Out of sight, not in mind.
Not in mind.
Not in mind right now.
Right now.
But in mind, you know. So I've been challenging myself to reach out to folks and schedule dinner dates and travel, do the drive, or when I'm out of town and visiting, or when they're visiting, like making sure that I'm deliberate about keeping the connections. And even reaching out to folks who maybe we don't live far apart, but we just don't communicate like that. I'll, you know, call or send a text to just say, hey, I'm thinking about you and you crossed my mind. And it always sparks like a little bit of convo. And, you know.
Well, I think that I'm just, as you're talking, I'm thinking about the generational difference, right? Because there would not be sort of this instant, like back in the day when you only had one phone in the house, right? The way we communicated, we did letters a lot, and we did have phone calls, but we did, you know, I'm thinking about Auntie Twyla.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So a great distance, but we've been lifelong friends since we were in diapers, where we called them nappies back then. But we've not fallen out of touch, right? And what we did was we traveled to see each other quite often, up and down the road between here and Brooklyn, right? Got family there. So, but we maintained communication. I remember one time, the telephone bill was astronomically high.
Really?
For these phone calls that we were having back and forth.
Oh, what were y'all talking about?
Listen, into the night, and oh yeah, and Daddy was quite upset about that. But so it's different now, right? You that you can connect when you go out of town, right? You move from one city to another. It's not that hard to maintain connection. So it has to be a deliberate thing that you do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be a deliberate thing that you do. And I'll honestly say I'm guilty of just not. In the past, there have been friends that made the effort to keep in touch with me, and I have not held up my end of the effort, and which is something that I'm mind hacking now, like because I miss them. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that I don't. You know, I miss our closeness. You know, and as the distance grows over the years, it's like, oh, because you didn't actively pursue maintaining this relationship.
Yeah, but is it and so this is a question I'm asking of your generation, right? Because for my generation, the time, you know, you would still have the friend. The expectation for constant communication was not there.
Yeah.
So even you might not have spoken to someone in years and could pick up the phone and call them, and oh my goodness, I was just thinking about you. Right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard from you in a long time, and you would still be able to jump into that relationship.
I don't think that is where we are as like a society now. It doesn't need to be constant, right? Because you live in a different place. So, but like, you know, once a quarter or twice a year, you know, do that. And I think that's, you have social media, so, and we've maintained, like, we're commenting, we're sending memes, and we do that,
right? So people they can see you living your
they
life.
can see you living your life, right? And I don't think it's any like shade or anything like that, whereby it's like, oh, Jasmine thinks this, or like it's never that, but it's more so just like, you know, we're highly active and social, and it's like if you don't make an effort to keep that connected, it's easy to find yourself out of the loop, out of connection. Yeah. So yeah. And I do have like people who, I mean, there are people from high school. I just touched my mic. I gotta remember not to do that. But there are people from high school that I know. Like, I had this friend named Tia when we were in when I was in high school. We were on a step team together. We were really close. She was really sweet and
short,
really short, really tiny, right? Little hands, little feet. And when I went to college, she and I didn't speak but once every couple of years. But every time we got on the phone, it was like right back. Right back, you know? So, and I honestly, that was one of those friendships where I was like, that's possible, you know? So I think kind of like having it in my mind that, oh, you know, we always gonna be, and you know how I feel about you. You know what I'm saying? But no, right now I'm actually doing the mind hacking of reaching out, maintaining connections. And there's also something that, if you've ever experienced loneliness before, like something that we talked about in this episode is just like it begets more loneliness because you believe that maybe you perceive exclusion when exclusion is not happening.
Exactly.
It's just that the relationship hasn't been, you know, nurtured in a way that fosters the inclusion.
and hasn't been recent.
Right? Yeah.
But it can still be a good relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So so you want to reach out, and if you're an introvert and you're not used to reaching out, this is me. I'm speaking of my type, my personality type. You have to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to actually, you know, call folks. And it's easy, like it's something that it sounds weird, but maybe have like a little script, like a little, just jot down a few things that you could, you know, chat about, and you know, that you're curious about.
And I can see how that removes some of the nervousness about doing
absolutely,
it, right? To help you prepare for that,
right? Yeah. So, I mean, you can change. We can shift how we can shift our behavior. So I think that's what
we can shift our expectations too.
That too, right? Yeah. Because I hear you. Because you're like, well, the constant contact is like, who's doing that?
Right. There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. We ain't doing all that.
No. So, and I do think too that so a lot of times when you reconnect, right, you can get to that old feeling, right? But I also think that, and this is the other thing about expectations, that that communication is two-way,
Yeah.
right? So there's a part, maybe I can do a little bit more reaching out, but then you think, maybe they can reach out too, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with that? Why haven't they called me, right? Why hasn't that person making the effort to visit me, right? So I think that it can go both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, you don't want to be oblivious to if there's a shift in the dynamic. You know, if there's something else at play, you don't want to be oblivious to that either.
Right. But most of the times it's people just lifing.
Yeah.
People are just living their lives, right?
Yeah.
And I just think about some of the times when there has been that outreach to me, and sometimes I'm not in the right headspace, and I get a phone call. I'm like, I'm just not picking up that phone right now.
Okay. And you reserve the right.
I reserve the right.
You reserve the right.
Because sometimes, you can't guarantee what you're going to give out. And sometimes you just need that time and a phone call. That's the thing about cell phones and, this
constant contact, constant access.
Right. Like, I get to turn that off or just say no.
Unlimited access. Yeah. Because it's almost like, if you think about it, like, as humans, right? Without all this technology, in order for someone to come and say something to you, they have to come to you. Right. The communication has to happen in face to face. Right.
And deliberate.
And then there's also like this aspect of the micro communications, like the text messaging, which you can interpret so many different
what does this
energies
mean?
Behind it.
Right.
And it's like, no, if the person was with you in person and you've actually spent the time to, be in person, then you would see that that's not that.
That's not that, right? And the other thing is, I assume good intentions, right? So I don't assume that everything is going to be negative. And when you get into that space, then almost everything is negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it works to sort of have that as your frame.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about reframing expectations. We talked about the idea of like small dose connections.
Right.
So
just, hey, how you doing? Just reaching out.
Just a quick text.
That's hard to do, but I like the text. Yeah.
A quick text or a quick voice note.
Yep.
And just committing yourself to a practice of maybe doing this with someone new, maybe once or twice a week. Calling an elder and, kind of enriching their lives, just updating them on what you have going on. These are all things that we can kind of do to hack that loneliness.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about cutting out the digital comparison.
Yeah. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Doesn't help you. Doesn't help you.
It doesn't help at all, and I'm guilty of it, as I admitted 30 different times on this episode. So yeah, just be mindful of what's happening in your mind when you're scrolling.
Right. And mindful of what you allow into your space, into your vision, right? Because so much of what happens is, even after you put the device down, it continues to sort of go through and play over and over. And yes, that's one of the reasons why you have to limit it, but also you need to figure out how to get some of those things out.
Yeah, just off the phone.
Imagery off the phone and get it out your head.
And then the last thing I want to talk about is just the concept of loneliness versus the concept of solitude. And I actually was on YouTube the other day and I found a psychiatrist, Black woman psychiatrist. I'm going to get her name and show her name in the show notes. But she talks about the differences between the two. Solitude being something that's chosen and loneliness being something that is imposed. And that we enter into involuntarily. So reframing, if you find yourself having a bunch of time where you're not in connection with folks, one of the hacks that we can do is kind of reframing how we think about our time alone, and filling it with solitude practices, whether that's self-care, journaling, meditating, listening to music, coloring, reading, cooking.
No.
We know. You just, that's funny. You're like, I don't like it.
I'm thinking about right now. I got to go upstairs and do, get prep
Something with some food.
something with
Yes,
some food.
I know.
Right?
This is the most laborious food holiday.
It is.
Yeah.
But I just want to give a shout out. I'm not going to say her name, but we had some cleaners come by yesterday, and just having your house clean make it so much easier to think about cooking for me.
Yes.
Because that's something I don't have to do. Then I can take my time and enjoy cooking.
Yeah.
I don't mind cooking when everything else is done, but I usually feel like I got too much to do. But anyway, that's a whole different.
We digress.
We digress.
So, what's your biggest takeaway from this conversation and this topic?
I've been thinking about people that I need to connect with, and some, whether or not they are lonely this holiday, I want to make sure that I'm being a little bit more deliberate in terms of reaching out. This is the season for it, and I'm thinking about like Aunt Miriam.
Yes.
Right.
I actually want to go see her. I want to go physically see her.
Right. And we've been trying to do that, over time, so that it doesn't seem like, we go years and years without it. But I'm going to reach out to her this holiday. Yeah. So that's what it does for me. It's make me think, who am I going to really, who's going to be on my list that wasn't before?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if she wasn't before, but she's more deliberately and intentionally on it now.
I love that. That's so necessary. Yeah. I think for me, my takeaway is really recognizing that some of the things that we instinctively do, because I think the aspect of like reaching out to folks is something that it's something I recognize that I wanted to do, like doing that more, and then connecting that with the neuroscience of it all has really been interesting, because it's a very simple. I think sometimes our minds can get so our minds can become really, and I don't want to use the word toxic, right? But we can get into like a negative leaning stance about something. And I think what like mindset shifting, neuroscience, like those kind of metacognition, the word is metacognition means thinking about what you're thinking. That's all it means.
Okay.
And being mindful of what's going on in your head. So, and your processing. So the aspect of like reaching out and stuff like that was something that naturally occurred to me that I need to do. And then to put the science behind it only reconfirms what I was thinking to myself. So I think that's the biggest thing, like the confirmation that, this is the path towards
combating
loneliness. Yes. And I have a very full life. I just want to be clear. I have a very full life. I have very full friendships, but there's aspects of wanting to keep and maintain those that have maybe kind of, withered away.
Yeah.
So, and doing that through these kind of practices. So,
and just one other takeaway, that solitude is chosen and loneliness is imposed. And so then also being deliberate about solitude.
Oh yeah.
Right. But making time. And I had that was some feedback that I just recently received, is that you need to slow down. Like you running around, you do a lot of busy stuff, and not that I need to slow down, but I just need to make sure that I'm incorporating time to be still.
Yeah, your own time,
my own time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do that.
Yes, well, good for you. Good for us.
Yeah, good for us.
If you made it this far, give yourself a hug. Loneliness can be tough, and we hope that some of the discussion today helped you in just realizing that you're not the only one who experiences loneliness, and that there are ways to navigate it and shift the way that you think about it and shift the experience of loneliness.
Yes.
It is a call to action. So as long as you act on it, you're going to be okay.
Yes.
All right. So that is it for today. Yeah, this has been In Bloom, and we'll see y'all next time.